One generic day on Sir Topham Hatt's railway, Thomas the Tank Engine was busy delivering ballast cars to the small railway where 4 minimum gauge engines, Mike, Rex, Bert, and Jock, lived. Sometimes they pull passengers. Other times they take ballast gravel, which is needed for road and railroad foundations, from their ballast quarry to Arlesdale End. It's the place where standard gauge engines wait for the ballast to be loaded into their freight trains before bringing it to anyone who needed it. Thomas was halfway to Arlesdale End when suddenly, without warning, moose on the loose! Thomas's driver slammed on the brakes just in time. Oh boy, a moose, grumbled Thomas. First red signals, then cows, and now a moose? Those minimum gauge engines are not going to be happy if I'm late, 'cause Sir Topham Hatt expects me not to be late. Thomas blew an impatient peep peep on his whistle, but the moose didn't vamoosed, for it had wandered away from the woods looking for new territory. Thomas spoke to his driver, Mr. Perkins. Mr. Perkins, a little help here, please? Sorry, Thomas, I'm not a professional animal trainer. Besides, I don't think it's safe to approach that dangerous-looking mammal. Mr. Perkins was right, said the moose. There was nothing anyone can do but wait for the aggressive bull to clear the line. Just then, Oliver arrived with his brake van towed. What's this? He said. A moose? I'll settle him. Shoo! Shoo! Go away! Oliver backed away slowly. I don't want him to hurt me. I guess we'll have to wait for him to move himself, Mr. Oliver, suggested Toad. That's okay, said Oliver. This is the perfect time for me to tell my story. Boy, were we lucky that Douglas founded us. We worked as fast as we could, and we almost got busted. But somehow, we managed to escape from scrap and made it here like the way things were planned. Blah, 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 interrupted Toad. Mr. Oliver, can't you at least talk about something different? I just can't believe you're still telling the same story, even that adventure I had with Mr. James. Let me think about it. No! I hate to tell you this, Oliver, Thomas joined in, but I kinda agree with Toad. Everyone's already heard your story for like 1,000,000 times. It's getting old. Oh, really? Said Oliver. Name one engine who did not heard my story before. But all Thomas could say was, I can only name 0. And yes, even Michael the double-tender engine has heard your story before. Well, what else can I talk about? It's the only good story that I know. Actually, there is some other story that we both know, Mr. Oliver, reminded Toad. What other story? Asked Oliver. You know, answered Toad, the one about the day you laid both eyes on Isabel? Who's Isabel? Asked Thomas. Oliver said nothing. I'd love to know. Can you tell me right now? Gee, I don't know, Excuse me, Mr. Thomas, said Toad. Mr. Oliver doesn't like to talk about Isabel. It's true, admitted Oliver. It's been that way ever since the night I lost her. It was all a secret that Oliver had been keeping this whole time. He didn't want anyone to know because it made him too sad and uncomfortable to talk about. But he could tell that Thomas was still cross about the moose that was still on the tracks. Are you sure about this? He asked Toad. I think if you do, you'll get used to it later. I guarantee, said Toad kindly. Oliver thought and thought for a long time. Finally, his mind was made up. "Okay, I'll do it," he said. And this is the story Oliver told Thomas the Tank Engine about the very, very first day he met his clever passenger coach, Isabel. "It all starts," began Oliver, "when I was for sale in an engine workshop. During that time, I haven't even met Toad or Isabel yet, but I was bought by a railroad director who runs one of the Great Western Railways." Oliver's first day on his first Great Western Railway was going well, at first, but not for long. The work was so hard for him that it was slowing down business. He couldn't shunt coaches properly. He couldn't pull passenger trains backwards. Other engines tutored him and tried giving him some special tips.
Hey!
But he still had some trials and errors. Sometimes he was late delivering passengers, and they told friends and family what a bad railway it is. He tried harder and worked on different Great Western Railways, but things didn't get any better. At the end of each day, Oliver never looked forward to the next one. He was tired, frustrated, and unhappy. "I am never, ever gonna get it right," he grumbled. "I'd rather grow some hands out of my footplate, grab a gun, and shoot myself with it."
You know,
said one of Oliver's old shedmates.
I used to suffer through issues like that during my rookie days, but luckily we found something that helped me get used to it all. Slip coaches.
"What are slip coaches?" asked Oliver.
Slip coaches
Said another shedmate.
have brakes of their own like we do, so they can be uncoupled without stopping, but they're kinda hard to use cause they'll bump into you if you're too slow. However, some slip coaches act like an extra pair of eyes behind you. That way, you'll be able to push in reverse while they keep a lookout and communicate with a bell in case of danger.
"Good idea," replied Oliver. "I'll get myself one of those." He did so the next day. At the yard, the manager showed Oliver and his crew many slip coaches. "Do you have one that looks out for you while pushing?" asked Oliver.
We only have one,
Said the yard manager.
she's right over there.
They found her all alone on a siding, and at first sight, Oliver knew that she was perfect. She had very strong brakes and a great big alarm bell. She looked marvelous. "That's the one. If I choose you, will you help me become a useful engine?"
Oh, yes,
said the slip coach.
I'll do my best.
"Excellent. My name's Oliver. What's yours?"
I'm Isabel.
"It's nice to meet you, Isabel. I think we're gonna make a good team." Then Oliver brought Isabel back to the station. Although Isabel was a little shy around Oliver, they got along just perfectly and had a happy afternoon on their first time working with each other. As time went on, Oliver's rookie days began to fade away fast, and it wasn't long before he and Isabel developed a strong relationship with each other. Now, the two newly formed buddies were happy working on the Great Western Railways, especially Oliver.
He's a really useful engine, you know. All the other engines, they'll tell you so. He huffs and puffs and whistles, rushing to and fro. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's the one. He's the one. He's the really useful engine that we adore. He's the one. He's the one you know.
Then, many years later, hard times came. The station master told Oliver and Isabel some bad news. They were being replaced. They couldn't believe what they had just heard. Their branch line was being dieselized at the time because more and more diesels were used on the main line, decreasing the popularity of steam engines. That meant that Oliver and Isabel were going to be sold for scrap. That evening, Oliver's crew told him about the Northwestern Railway, led by Sir Topham Hatt. There were no plans of dieselizing the place,
We should be safe living there.
finished the fireman. All right then, said Oliver. Let's go. Oliver went to pick up Isabel, for he wasn't going to leave her. After telling her what they were doing, they heard a voice. Excuse me, it said. It was an old brake van named Toad. I'm due to be scrapped too, and I couldn't help but overhear your plan. So, may I come too? Of course, replied Oliver. I don't think we met before, have we? Nope, said Toad. I'm Toad. I'm Oliver, and this is Isabel. We've been working for many years together since I bought her. They quickly coupled Toad to Isabel, and the three set off into the night to make their escape to Sodor.
There once was an engine who ran away, just up and went. Ran away, stacked up his tender, and headed on the night to farewell, goodbye. The little old engine ran away, just up and went. Ran away, didn't feel part of the railway, so the little old engine ran away.
Oliver stayed in his hiding place, blocked by tree branches, for 24 hours straight, while the growling diesels searched everywhere for him. When day turns to night, a signalman told them that the search was called out. They took down the branches, which took 10 minutes to do so, and were just leaving when the same signalman came back and flagged them down. An unscheduled freight extra is coming this way, he told them. All hope was lost, because Oliver could hear the growling of the approaching diesel, and there wasn't enough time to get back to hiding. The only option left was to stay completely put. And, Oliver continued, finishing the story, the diesel who found us took us away to the scrapyard where Douglas rescued us. Both me and Toad got away just fine, but not Isabel. This made Thomas a little speechless, but he decided to pluck up courage. So, what happened to her? He asked. Those diesels knew how much I liked her, Oliver said softly. They took her away and left me alone with Toad. I didn't see what happened next, but I just know that they've scrapped her because I never saw her again ever since. Poor Oliver was so ashamed that he began to cry a little. Bust my buffers, said a surprised Thomas. That is a sad story. I know, Oliver sobbed. I miss her so much. Thomas and Toad felt very sorry for Oliver. They had never seen him so upset before. Mr. Oliver, said Toad, I'm sorry about your loss, but you don't have to worry about being upset just because you don't know how everyone will react. Toad's right, Thomas agreed. If I lose Annie and Clarabelle, I tell lots of friends about it because I'd miss them also. But the important thing is that Isabel just got stolen. It was a stroke of bad luck. And even with a tragic scene, your story has inspiration on hope, determination, freedom, and something to believe in. And it's all complete with a happy ending which has been happening since Douglas rescued you. It's still happening today thanks to your new friends who care about you. That's why you should express and share your emotions to all your close friends whether they tease you or not. I like your life story better than the one about the rescue, Oliver. I mean, being able to know what's happened before makes it a great story. Other than that, there's a good chance that Isabel has been rescued too. You just don't know it yet.
You're right, said Oliver. All this time I've been telling too much of the same thing, and I haven't been caring about anyone's feelings, but mine. I think I've been born with an attraction to drama that's drawn me to those fearful moments in my story. Thomas, will you tell everyone that I'm sorry for annoying them?
Sure, buddy, said Thomas. If only this moose could keep off the way, I'd be able to... Look, the moose is gone. We can go.
Holy smokes! I guess he walked away and we didn't even notice. But where'd he go?
He's over there, grazing on the grass. Quick, let's go before he finishes. So Thomas and Oliver pumped their pistons and raced away just in time. Peep, peep! Thanks for the story. Goodbye, whistled Thomas.
Peep, peep,
answered Oliver.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
When Thomas finally arrived at Arlesdale End, Sir Topham Hatt was waiting with one of the minimum gauge engines, Mike.
What took you so long?
He said. Yeah, man, joined in Mike. You're late. I'm sorry, panted Thomas. A moose strayed on the line and we had to wait for him to get away. We were able to pass the time when Oliver came and told me how he met his friend Isabel.
That's nice,
went on Sir Topham Hatt.
But there's no time to waste. You've got some barrels to load in your freight cars.
Yes, sir, said Thomas, and he continued his work in a hurry. That night, Oliver decided to stay at Titnit's sheds with all the other engines. Why are you sleeping with us tonight, Oliver? asked Percy.
Because, announced Oliver, I've got a story I'd like to tell you.
Oh no, thought James. Here we go again. But to everyone's surprise, Oliver did not talk about his narrow escape. Instead, he told everyone the same story he had told Thomas. All the engines could not believe what they had heard, especially not Thomas. Well done, Oliver, he said. You've overcome your feelings over your loss.
I sure did, Thomas,
said Oliver proudly.
I still miss Isabel, but I've learned my lesson, and that's to never let that strong feeling get the best of you. Now if only we can get Duck to overcome his strong feeling over the Great Western Way.
Everyone laughed, even Oliver. Throughout the next few days, Oliver told other engines all about Isabel and the fun times they had made together. They were all amazed and happy hearing them, and that made Oliver happy too. Aside from Salty the Dockyard Diesel, he was becoming one of the best storytellers on Sir Topham Hatt's railway, 'cause never again has he mentioned his narrow escape as much as he used to.